Good afternoon, historians. We've learned a little bit about the federal government and about our state government and about the election process. Now it's time to learn about Wisconsin's history. We're going to use this textbook, Wisconsin, Our State, Our Story. You should have this textbook with you right now. Boys and girls, as we start learning about Wisconsin's history, it's important that you know that history is a narrative in a time and a place. And that just means that it's a story that took place in the past, in a certain place, and it so happens to be that the history that we're going to learn about took place right here in Wisconsin. Right now, I'd like you and your partner to take a look at the table of contents. I want you to discuss with your partner what you notice about the table of contents. Now I want you to look at Chapter 1. What do you notice about it? Look through the pages. Make sure you look at the bottom of the page. Boys and girls, I'd like you to turn to page 2 in your textbook. You should see a picture of the state of Wisconsin, and on it are all of Wisconsin's symbols. There's also a text box that says Chapter 1, Connecting to Our State's Story. In this chapter, we're going to learn how the textbook tells the state story, what it means to think like a historian, what kinds of evidence historians use, and how do historians use evidence to write history. On page 3, you'll see some keywords from the chapter, and you will also notice that there's a box labeled Thinking Like a Historian. In this box are symbols that represent different things. We will learn what these symbols mean so that we know how to read this textbook best. Now turn to page 4. This is what page 4 looks like. At the top it says, how do we tell our state's story? And then it says, in this chapter, you'll learn what history is all about and how to think like a historian. You'll find out how historians learn about the past, and you'll find out how this book will help you learn to think like a historian while you learn about Wisconsin's past. So we're learning two things. We're learning about Wisconsin's past, and we're also learning how to think like a historian. The first box on the left says, what is history? History is not the past, as some people think, but rather the study of events that took place in the past and people who lived in the past. No one can describe every event that took place long ago or just yesterday, even though both long ago and yesterday make up the past. Historians are people who study and interpret the past through the stories they tell. Whether you learn about the past by listening to stories that your parents or older people tell, by visiting a museum, by watching a movie or TV program, or by reading a book, you are learning about what someone thinks is important enough to remember and share. It is not the entire past, but a view of the past. The box on the right says, how do historians choose stories? Historians are a lot like detectives. They investigate the past by asking questions. They need evidence to answer their questions. They use the evidence to help them choose what to tell. They also need to be sure that their story helps us get a better idea of what the past was like. At all times, they ask themselves, does this matter? If so, why does this matter? The photographs on the next page will give you a chance to answer questions. Keep thinking, what matters? Why does it matter? All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at page 5. On the top left, you'll see a picture of the state capitol, and it looks like it's burning. The caption under the picture says, this photograph of the state capitol was taken in Madison in 1904. What this photo is telling us about what is this photo telling us about what happened to the Capitol? Why is there smoke coming out of the building? Why are the people standing outside? What time of year was this photo taken? Turn and talk to your partner now. The photo on the bottom left side says what is happening in this photo in the Capitol. Is the statue of Wisconsin coming down or going up? Turn and talk to your partner now about what you think. Now take a look at the photo on the right. Someone took this photo from inside the Capitol. Look closely at the photo. Can you tell what part of the Capitol this photo is? What is this photo telling you about the Capitol building? Turn and talk to your partner now. Boys and girls, as we investigate history, I told you earlier that we were going to have to learn to think like historians, or that we were going to learn to think like historians, and we are going to use a series of symbols to do this. We are going to use pages 6 and 7 to learn to think like historians. You'll see symbols on page 7. One of these symbols looks like 2 arrows going in a circle. Those symbols represent cause and effect. Then you'll see 2 symbols that look like buildings, possibly with flags on the top. Those symbols represent change and continuity. You'll see 2 arrows moving away from each other or splitting. Those represent turning points. You'll see a pair of eyes. Those represent through their eyes. That would be the people who were studying their eyes. And then you'll see an arrows with dotted line between, and those represent using the past. Not only will it be important that we know what the symbols represent, but also what that means. You're going to work to complete this page. This is our Thinking Like a Historian page. You and your partner will write what each symbol means in your own words. And you are going to use the pictures on pages 6, or the pictures and the text on pages 6 and 7 to help you do so. Let's make it a great day.